So if suppose I want that I should get, you cannot hear me, Tushar? Hello, Tushar, can you hear me? Everyone else, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tushar, there might be issue, some issue at your end if you are not able to hear me. Please check your connection or end the meeting and start again because rest all can hear me. Okay, so this type of authentication is local. This type of authentication is local. Suppose if I want telnet access also of the device, so what I will do, I will take a PC. Okay, I took a PC over here, and what I will do, I will make the connections. So for telnet access, I should have the IP address. Okay, so what I will do, I will configure the IP address. Okay, so I am inside the routers console now. What I will do, I will configure the IP address. Config terminal interface fast ethernet 0/0 IP address. Suppose I will give 1.network 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. No shut. Okay. I make the interface up. Now suppose if I want this my PC, I will give the IP address to PC also. Okay. I got the console of this. I will give the IP address IP 192.168.1.2 255.255.255.0. The gateway will be 192.168.1.1. Okay, this is my gateway. It will check for IP address. Now suppose if I want telnet access also, I can what I can do. I am on the PC. I want the telnet access for the router. So what I will do, I will give the IP address. Okay, so this PC is not having the telnet this thing. Suppose I am on this router. This is 192.160 this PC. I will check in telnet 192.168.1.1. Okay, I have not enabled the telnet access. So what I will do, if I enable telnet over here, if I want to access this PC with telnet, this router with telnet, then what I have to do? Line VTY 0/4. I want 4 users. The password will be Cisco at the time of login. At the time of login. Okay. Now when I go on this PC and I try to telnet, it is asking me for the password. Okay, but this thing is local for this router only. This is the telnet thing that is local for this router only. Okay, but I what I want that whenever any user whenever any user try to access any router, okay, or any device in the network, so what it should get, it should go to a centralized, it should not get the access with the local database, it should not get the access with the local database, it should get the access with the you can say external device that is known as AAA server, that is known as AAA server. Okay, so what is the use of AAA server? Why the AAA server is used? Okay, so if we say normal authentication, okay, centralized server based authentication validate the user wishing to gain access to a resource such as a router. So how it will be giving the access, how it will give the access. I've started the recording. Hari. So how it will get the access? It will get the access via the triple A server. So how via AAA server it will get the access? See, this is my remote client sitting in the LAN network. Okay, so what it will do, it is trying to access the router. Okay, so what we have configured username and password. What we have done, we have given username and password, and we have stored the username and password on the AAA server. Okay, authentication server. So what it will do, when the client will request anything, he will be prompt for username and password. When he will enter the username and password, the router will send the username and password to the authentication server. Then the authentication server will reply with the thing that the user is authenticated or not. Then he or she will get the access to the authenticate to the router. So in this, what will happen? We will have a centralized server for all the types of authentication. Okay, and we don't have to go on each device, and the password will not be the authentication will not be stored in the local database. The authentication will be done via the external server. Okay, so the external server uses access control server, Cisco's access control server for Windows Server, and ACS solution engine, ACS Express. Understood? So this is something, the use of
But
triple.
we have to,
Sorry,
but we have to, yeah, but we have to activate Telnet on all the routers or all the devices, right?
yes, we have to activate the telnet on all the devices.
Yeah. Okay.
But see, the use of external server is what you
For
don't have to store all the things on the router. It will not get stored in the local database of the router.
yeah,
It is not getting stored in the local database of the router. It is getting stored in the external server. So we can have two types of external server. We can have Radius and Takax Plus. Okay, two types of authentication server, and this authentication will be done on the basis of username and password combination. Okay, we can have username and password combination in the local database also, but this username and password we will be creating not on the local database. We will be creating it on the external server. Understood? We will see the small practical for it. What we will do, we will take one switch is over here. We will take some PCs. Okay, then we will take a server over here. Take one router. Actually, hello.
we can hear. No problem.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
sir.
Because I'm not feeling well, so I cannot speak louder. Yesterday also I was not feeling well. So what I will do, I will go on the router and I will give the commands config terminal interface fast ethernet 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0 Oh shit. Okay. Now I will come on the PC and I will give the IP address to PC also 192.168.1.2. 192.168.1.1 will be the gateway. Okay. I will give the IP address to this PC also 192.168.1.3. 192.168.1.1. Okay. Now I have shown you the local authentication. Now what I will do, I will go on the this router and I will create a local username for administrator and a local password, admin password. Okay, I've created a local user. Then what I will do, I will create a triple A new model. I will create a triple A new model. Once I create a triple A new model, then what it will do, it has created the triple A new model. Now what options I can use over here? What options I can use over here? See, I can use triple A option. Okay, so what all options I have in triple A? I can see I can have authentication. Okay, authentication. So what I will do, I will give authentication. Then in authentication, what I can do, I can give the authentication type also. I can give over here. See, this is the command. If I want to give new model, okay, I've created one, this thing, then Takax host, I have to give the host, which will be the host, for which host I'm creating this thing. First I will create the authentication login, then I will give the name of the authentication, then group, which one I have to use, which type of this thing I have to use. So what I will do, I will give authentication login, then the name of the list. Suppose I will give the name as CCNP. Okay, I gave the name as CCNP. Then group, which type of uh, server you want, which type of server you want. I want Takax Plus. I will use Takax Plus. Okay. Then secondary server. If the Takax Plus is not working, then what? If the Takax Plus is not working, if the Takax server is not working, then you have to go to the local authentication. You have to go to the local authentication. Okay. Now I have given this thing. Now I will use Takax server. The host is 192.168.1.1. I am configuring the Takax server for 192.168.1.1. Okay, what can be the next command? I will give the key for the Takax server. The key for the Takax server is, I will give CCNP1. The key is CCNP1. So this is the configuration I have done. Show run. I have created a new model. I have created AAA authentication login. Okay, I have created a Takak servers authentication. Okay, I have created all the things. Now I will create a console line. I will create a console line. I will create a console line. So do I have any console line right now? No, I don't have any console configured, any console password configured right now. So what I will do, I will configure a console line, console console 0 password, sorry, password I don't have to give, I have to give login, see, login, authentication, then whatever name we have give for the authentication, we have given CCNP. The authentication group name we have given CCNP. Authentication login name. At the type of login, use authentication CCNP. Okay, understood? Now I have to go on the server, Takak server. I have to go on the Takak server, whatever, wherever the Takak server is. I will configure the Takak server over here. I will go in the services, triple A, triple A authentication. I will on the service. My client name is router. My client name is router having the IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay, the
Sir,
secret key.
isn't there any command for it, sir, instead of doing it in GUI?
See, we cannot do any via any command. Okay, in the this packet tracer,
Okay, it is servers. Okay, sir.
it is a server. We are using a server.
Okay,
Okay,
sir. Uh, can't router act as server like as in like DHCP?
in packet tracer we cannot do the DHCP server is different. We are configuring a AAA authentication.
Yes, sir. But like DHCP, can't AAA be managed by router itself?
I don't think so. It will be having option for it.
No, no. In production environment also it will be like this on the server. It's a server, right? AAA server.
I don't think so. It is having this option over here. You can get it in the in the production network. You can get the option. So for testing purpose, I'm just creating a server and I'm just giving the details of the server for testing purpose. That how it will work. What we have done, we have created a server. We have given the authentication that client IP is this Takax. You have to use the server as Takax. Okay. Then what I will do, I will create some users. Suppose I created user one,
So
user
the
one,
key is CCMP1.
secret key is CCNP1. Okay. User one. I've created one user, user one. I will create one more user, user two, user two. Okay, I've created user two users. Okay. The service is on.
Sir, it is not getting saved, sir. CCNP1.
Okay. Got saved now. Now what I will do, I will go on the router, exit. See, whenever I am trying to take the console, it is asking me for the password, username and password, user one. See, if I enter incorrect detail, it will not give me the access. Even say am user one, user one, it did not give me the access. Why it is taking local authentication? I've configured the AAA model. It is taking the local authentication. AAA CCNP. It is taking local authentication. It should not take local authentication. I have given this command. I have given model attacks plus local console 0. So it should not take local authentication. Why it is taking local authentication? The AAA server is on. Okay, okay. Just a second. User one.
For the server, can you log? Can you see? Can you go check the failed attempts?
Sorry, I didn't got you. That come again.
Yeah, for the AAA server, can you check failed attempts?
Sir, is IP address required for the server, sir?
Sorry. Yeah.
IP address.
I have not given the IP address to the server. 192.168.1.4. 192.168.1.1. I have not given the IP address. See, there is IP address on the server. There is IP address on the server. Okay, and the thing I have given over here is wrong. Okay, whatever I have configured over here is incorrect. Admin
Let's go.
config terminal. I have configured wrong thing. Do show run. So this thing is wrong. This I have to give the Takak server host is my 1.4. No, 1.4. Okay. Show run. Okay. Exit. User 1. See, it gave me the access. So what I did, I made a mistake. What I did, I gave the Takak server host. This is the host. Where is the Takak server kept? So I gave the router's IP address. I made a mistake over here that the host where the Takak server is kept, the Takak server is kept at in my LAN at 192.168.1.4, and I didn't give the IP address to the Takak server. Okay, so see, whenever I'm trying to access the router, it is giving me the username, it is asking me for the username and password, and I can log in through the username and password. Now the same thing I can configure it for telnet access also. Okay, so what I can do, I can give line bty 0 and 4. Okay, see, once I give at the time of login and I give local, it will not take local, login local. Why it is not taking login local? It is saying me AAA is enabled, command not supported, use an AAA authentication methodology. So what I have to use? Login. See, it is asking me either I can use local login or either I can use authentication. So I will use authentication, and it is asking me for the list, the name of the list. I have made a list name as CCNP. Okay, so whenever I will go on the PC and I will try to telnet 192.168.1.1, the router, it will ask me for username, user1. Yeah, I got the access of the router. Understood? So how it is going, the access, how I am getting the access. I'm getting the access via the AAA server. I have not configured anything on this router. I have not configured any password on this router. What I have given the password, the username. I've created the username and password on the external server.
Server.
Understood? This is a type of AAA authentication. We have seen Radius in this. See what we can do now. We can keep two servers in our LAN network. We can keep two servers in our LAN network. Okay, one more server in my LAN network. Okay, I will keep one more server in the LAN network, and this server is my, suppose, Radius server. This server is my Radius server. So what I will do now, I will go in this Radius server, I will configure the IP address 192.168.1.5. Okay, 192.168.1.1. I don't think so it will take in this example. Let me check. So what I will do, I will give over here show run. Whatever command I have given over here, I have created this authentication. whatever I have created over here, I will remove this thing. No, what I will say now, AAA authentication, AAA authentication at the time of login, the list name is CCNP. Okay, the first group that you have to use is Takax. Takax, you have to use Takax. Then the second, if Takax is failed, okay, what you can use? You can use another group that is Radius. If Takax is failed, then you have to use the Radius server. Okay, if Takax is failed, then you have to use the Radius server for authentication. You have configured this thing over here. Then what I can do, I can go over here and I can configure this thing also. I will on the client name is router 192.168.1.1, client IP is 1.1, secret key CCNP1. Okay, Radius server, add, okay, user 3, user 3. Okay, add this thing. Now I will go on the router and I have already created this thing. So run. For Takax server, I have already created the key. What I will do, I will create it for Radius server also. Config terminal Radius server key. Radius server key is CCNP1. Okay, and the Radius server host is 192.168.1.5. Okay, so what I have done, I have created a backup server. Suppose this link goes down. This is connected to Fast Ethernet 0/3. Okay, this is connected to Fast Ethernet 0/3. So what I will do, I will go inside the switch. I will enable config terminal interface Fast Ethernet 0/3. Okay, shut. I will shut down this interface. Once I shut down this interface, okay, if I try to access my console, now it asking me for username and password. I will give user3. See, it is searching for the Radius server. It is searching for the Radius server. The external base server. It is searching for the external base server now. See, I got the access of the router. So if my this link fails, then it will access the another server. I have kept another server. If my this link fails at any time, I can have a backup of this server. I can have a backup for this server. See, I got the access of the router. Same thing I can get it via telnet also. See, if I try to telnet user 3, I've created this thing user 3 on the Radius server only. I've shown you I've created it on the Radius server only. See, I got the access of the router and it is getting via the Radius server now. Okay, suppose this link also goes down now. This interface also goes down of the Radius server interface Fast Ethernet 0/5 shut down. Now, when I try to access the console, it will be giving me the I have to give it will not give me the access.
Sir, for this backup method to work, we should give the group name same, sir, in both Tekax and Radius.
See what configuration I have given. I will explain you the configuration. Let this get complete. See, now it is searching for the server. Now it is searching for the server. Is there any server that is configured? Is that any server that is configured? So login invalid because it did not found any server. Now I will log in with my administrator login. Okay, local login that I've created. Then also I will not get the access because I have not given that if my servers are not available, I should be able to get the login via my local login, local database login. I have not given that option in the router. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to go on the switch and I have to make one of the interface up, no shut. Okay, so that it can give me the access to the router. Okay, enable. See what command I have given over here. What command I have given over here. What I told, I'm creating a group. I'm creating a list. I'm creating a list. A list name is CCNP. The list is something, the list we create in access list. I've created an access. Suppose I've created an access list. So this, it is same as I'm creating a login list. A login list I'm creating in which I'm using a group of Takak server. A Takak server I'm using. Okay. Now suppose if my Takak server is not working, my link to Takak server is gone, it is down, then the secondary server I am creating a group of Radius server. Okay, then the secondary option you have to use is this Radius server. This is my secondary option, second option. If my Takak server goes down, then this will be my secondary option. Previously what I created a group and the secondary option was my local authentication with my admin access, local authentication. So I don't want now local authentication. My secondary option is Radius server. Secondary option is what? Radius server. Got it? So why I have created Radius server, and the group, the list name will be same. They will be authenticated with the list name CCNP. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it? So we have seen how we can have multiple servers for authentication. Okay. Let me check one more thing. Config terminal AAA authentication. We'll take this command, copy, paste. No, what I will check. Okay,
There is a no, sir. Sir, there is a no command, sir.
okay, sorry. Group radius. See, now I can use the local option over here. What I will do, I will use the local option over here. If both the server goes down, give me the local access. Give me the local access that I've created already, that I've created over here. Admin and Cisco. Understood? So I can use these things, AAA authentication, if I'm having multiple devices and I don't want the each device will have its own database. Okay, I don't want that each device will store its user authentication in its own database. I want that it should store it in the external server. Got it? So this is the option that I can do. I can use a AAA authentication. Now, what is AAA authentication? What is the full form of AAA? AAA is authentication, authorization as an accounting. Now, what is authentication? Authentication is something. Who are you? Who are you? If I take an example of bank, okay. So in the example of bank, when we go in the ATM, when we insert the card, okay, then what it is asking, it search for the card number. It will search for the card number, okay. Then the card number is linked with which account? Is linked with which account? So that is known as authorization. So this card is having an account linked. This account is linked with this card. Okay, so authentication is done, and after authentication, this card is only having authority to give the details about this account number, which resources the user allowed to access, and which operations the user allowed to perform. Okay, it is something known as authorization. What is accounting? Accounting is something, what did you spend on it? Like our bank statement, it is our bank statement. I think accounting is our bank statement. Now, accounting is in the production network. You can see accounting if suppose you are how many users access your network, okay, via console, and you can get the accounting details at what time and all the things. So this is something known as AAA server. Understood? Authentication, authorization, and accounting. Any doubt on AAA server?
Where can we find the accounting information, sir?
See, we can get it in the production network whenever I cannot get in over here because I am not having a physical server in it. Okay,
It
whenever
probably
see, there is an option AAA accounting. Here it is Radius and Takax. Here it is record of, I can get the record, but here there is no option over here. It is locked, you can see. It is locked over here.
Okay,
So
sir.
this is not there. AAA accounting. See, I can get the accounting details or each and everything. It is locked over here. There is some purchase or something of this packet tracer. After that only I get these all options. Okay, the things are locked, so I cannot get. See, my two servers are there. Takax and Radius are configured, and I can get authentic accounting details in these records. These all records I can get. So whoever has access, which user has accessed the devices, which user has got taken the telnet access. Okay, I can get all the details in this. Got it? User one, user one is down. User one is down. User three, user three. I got the access, but I don't think so. I will be getting this detail. Let me check once again. See, I'm not getting the details over here, accounting details, because it is lock over here. It is having a lock. See, these all things are not having a lock. I can use these all things. Okay. Understood. So in the production network, you will be getting the accounting details. Okay, how much is the, how many users have access the network, which all are the devices, what is the IP address, okay, what type of access they have taken, all the things you can get in the accounting details. Understood? Any doubt, guys?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No, sir.
we can move. We can move further.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what we can see, we can see FHRP, first of redundancy protocol. Okay, first of redundancy protocol. So suppose I will take one example over here. Suppose I'm having a network over here, I'm having a LAN network over here, multiple PCs are connected. I'm having LAN network over here, this PC is connected in the LAN. Okay, here I'm having a router. Okay, I'm having a router over here. Okay, this router is connected with the ISP's router. This router is connected with the ISP's router. This router is connected with the ISP's router. Some IP address is given with the with this link. Okay. Now suppose I am having multiple ISPs. I am having multiple ISPs. One more ISP is over here. Okay, I'm having multiple ISPs. This is ISP1. This is ISP2. This is something 8 Mbps line. 8 Mbps line. This is something 2 Mbps line. Okay, this is my backup. So now what will happen in this scenario? Suppose if this user is trying to access the internet, so it will come to the gateway, the router will take it to the ISP and ISP will give it the internet access. Okay. Now suppose if this link goes down, okay, then I have a backup link over here. I have a backup link over here. So I can get the access with the backup link. So how the configuration is done? What is the configuration that we do for this type of scenarios? So we make you can say we can make multiple routes, we can give multiple routes, we can give multiple routes. What we can give two static routes, sorry, two default routes we can give. So whenever we are going to any unknown location, what we give default route. So what
Mhm.
we can give over here, we can give IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0.0.0. Okay, next stop address is
Next.
something here. I am having the IP address as configured as 2.2.2.2. Okay, this is my first default route. This is my first default route. Whenever the IP, whenever the you have to go to any unknown location, you can go via this. Now, what we can configure the secondary route, how we can configure the secondary route? We can configure the secondary route. Suppose I will give 3.3.3.3. Okay, I
Yeah,
can give
wait
one
it.
more option over here. I can give the administrative
Wait.
distance. What I can give? I can give the administrative distance. Okay, the default distance will be 1. The default will be 1. If I configure 10 and the second, if I give any value, suppose I gave 10, suppose I gave 10, then if my this link goes down, this link goes down, which link? My this ISP1 will link goes down, then automatically it will switch to this link. Automatically it will switch to this link and the users will get the access via this link. They will have some delay, some sort of delay, some seconds. Within 10 seconds, it will get the access, they will get the access of this link and this ISP2 will now take the charge, but they will get the 2 Mbps bandwidth. Okay, so it's something we can configure like this. If we want, if we have two ISP network, we can configure these things. See, we are having an option over here. Okay, see if I don't think so. If you will, it is having the option in this packet tracer config tree IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0.0.0 then see, it is giving me the distance metric for this route, distance metric for this route. So if I give distance metric for this route as the first route I have created 2.2.2, then the next route I will be creating is 3.3.3.3, and I will give the distance metric as 10. So whenever my first route will be down, whenever my first route will be down, it will go to the another route. Whenever my first route will go down, it will go to the another route. It will go to the another route. It will select the another internet service provider. So this is something I can configure if I am having multiple service providers. If I am having multiple service providers, that is this is the thing that I can configure. Okay. So suppose if my this router goes down, then what I can do? If my this router goes down, then what I can do? Then what I can do? I can select. I can have one more router in my network. So sorry, in my uh, what I can say. I am having one more router in the stock. What I will do, I will remove this router from here and I will connect the router again, one more router, and I have to configure all the things, the access list, all the things, whatever are the things that are configured, whatever were configured, all the configuration I have to do, I have to load all the configuration on here, and it will take some time. Till that time, these users will not get the access to the internet. It might take some time, right? It might take some time to configure all the things, to configure the routers, to load all the configuration of this router, to get all the configuration of this router to this router. It will take some time. Okay, so at that time, this users will not get the access of internet. These users will not get the access of internet, which we don't want. Okay, so what we can do in this scenario? What we can do in this scenario? In this scenario, we can use FHRP, first hop redundancy protocol. First hop redundancy protocol. So what the first hop redundancy protocol will do? See, we will have multiple gateways. We will have multiple gateways. Suppose I'm having one more router over here. Okay, suppose take this router only. I'm having one more router over here, and these two routers are connected to the ISPs. These two routers are connected to the ISP. These two routers are connected to the ISP's router. Okay. Now, if suppose my this router goes down, automatically this standby router will take the charge to get the users. Within a second, this standby router will come up and it will take the charge, and it will give the access to the internet for this user. So this users will get the access in. Okay, so what we will do, we will create a virtual IP address over here. We will create a virtual IP address, and through this virtual IP address, these my clients will get the access of the network. Understood? Understood? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so FHRP is
Yes.
something first of redundancy protocol. Okay, so there are three types of FHRP protocols you can use. So this is the working. See, this is the working. I will give the default gateway as 10.3. Suppose I'm using 10. Network. So what I will give, this is my active router. Okay, 10.1.1.1 slash 24 10.1.1.2 is my standby router. Okay, I will give one virtual IP. I will create one virtual IP. Okay, and what I will do, I will give the virtual IP as a gateway of the host. Okay, I will give the virtual IP as the gateway of the host. I will say that your default gateway is this virtual IP. Now what will happen? The packet will go always to the virtual IP, and the virtual IP will then forward it to the this router, any active router first. If the active router is down, it will forward the traffic to the standby router. It will forward the traffic to the standby router. Understood? Any doubt, guys?
No, sir.
Well done.
Okay. So I can have three types of configuration, three types of you can say this thing we have protocols HSRP, VRRP, and GLBP. Okay, HSRP, VRRP, and GLBP. Now, what is the difference between three of them? Scope means it is Cisco proprietary, HSRP is Cisco proprietary, so we can use it on the Cisco devices only. VRRP is something IEEE standard, it is uh, open standard. Okay, so we can use this VRRP in Cisco as well as non-Cisco devices. GLBP is also Cisco proprietary. Okay, load balancing, there is no load balancing feature in VRRP and HSRP. We are having load balancing feature in GLBP. Now what is load balancing? You all know what is load balancing. I will give you example of load balancing also. See, load balancing means whenever if you are using HSRP, then unless this link is down, unless this link is down, my this standby router will not work. It will be sitting idle, you can see. It will be sitting idle. Unless this active router link will go down, this will be sitting idle. Okay, in HSRP and VRRP. But in GLBP, what we can do, we can have multiple gateways. What we can do, we can use this router also. We can use this router also. How we can use this router? We can say some packet will go via this path, some packet will go via this path. Okay, so we can use both the routers at the same time. We can load balance the traffic. We can load balance the traffic. So this is something, a feature of GLBP. We are not having this feature in HSRP or VRRP. Okay, so now uh, multicast group address, it will be using 224.0.0.2 for version 1. For version 2, it will be using 10.102. Okay, so it is the same multicast uh, address type like the routing protocols use, the OSPF use 224.0.0.5 and 6. So these are the same multicast address wherever the HSRP is running. This address, this multicast address will be used. VRRP will be using this address .18. This GLBP will be using 102. Okay. Transport number. Transport number means the UDP port number it uses. TCP port number, UDP port number it is using 1985, 1985. VRRP is using 112, 3222. GLBP is using 3222. Okay. So suppose I am having a router and I have uh, configured access list. I have configured access list. So what I have to do, I have to allow this. I have to go on this port number and I have to say allow this traffic, allow this access list. Okay, allow this access list. If I don't allow this access list on the port number, then it will, by default, it will block all the traffic coming on this port number and you will not get the features of HSRP. Okay, so whenever I'm using this type of HSRP or this type of protocol, or I'm using access list, then I have to go on the port and I have to say the access list to give the, I have to configure the access list to give the access to this port. Understood? Now, virtual group of virtual MAC address. Now, HSRP, whenever the user will be trying to access this router, okay, this, so we are giving a virtual IP address, but it will automatically create a virtual MAC address also, which the device will be getting. Okay, because this switch will work on the MAC address. Okay, so this ARP, it will save this virtual MAC address in the ARP table. It will save this virtual MAC address in the ARP table of this device. So the packet will be sent to the virtual IP address and it will automatically create a virtual MAC address and it will give to the device. Okay, so device will save it in the ARP cache table so that whenever the device is sending, it will send with the virtual MAC address so that it will go to this IP address. Understood? A virtual MAC address is automatically created whenever we are creating a virtual IP address. So virtual MAC address will be seen in this format, for HSRP, and this X value will be having a group number. Suppose I am using a group number as 1. I'm using a group number as 1. Okay, then this XX will be having a value of 0, 1. Okay, suppose I'm using group 10, then this will be having a value of 0A because A represents 10. A represents 10. Okay, so these two values will get changed where whatever is the group number, whatever the group number I am using for HSRP. Same over here, this is the virtual MAC address when I am using VRRP. Over here, this will be the virtual MAC address when I will be using GLBP. Okay, understood? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any doubt till here? IPv6
No, sir.
support, we are having HSRP IPv6 support. VRRP is not supported for IPv6. GLBP is supported for IPv6. Okay, got it?
Yeah. Yes.
Now we will see some more difference. Election process. Election process, how the election process is done, which router will be selected as active router and which router will be selected as the standby router. So it will go with first thing highest priority. It will select the highest priority. Will go highest priority. We will select highest priority. Okay, understood? First, it will see the highest priority of the device. Then, if the priority has a tie, then it will go with the highest IP address. Understood? Will go with the highest IP address.
Yes, sir.
Is this for HSRP alone or all of them?
For all the things. See, highest IP address, then it will go with the highest priority, then it will go with the highest IP address. See, over here also. Tiebreaker is highest IP address. Okay, for all the things. This is HSRP, this is VRRP, and this is GLBP. Okay. Now, here we will be having active and standby, but in VRRP, the name, the concept will change, the name will be changed. And they will be master and backup, master and backup, master and backup. Okay, the working will be same, but they will be master and backup. And here it will be AVG, active virtual gateway, and active virtual forwarder. Okay, so when we will be learning GLBP, we will see what is this AVG and AVF, active virtual gateway and active virtual forwarder. Okay, so these all are the things that we will be having in different things. Okay, different protocols. Now the timers are hello timer is for 3 seconds by default and the whole timer is for 10 seconds. Now what do you mean by whole timer? Suppose I am using HSRP. Suppose I am using HSRP and my this link goes down. So what is how it works actually? See these two routers, how these two routers will come to know. These two routers, first of all, they should be in the same network. Okay, they should be in the same network and they should have the same subnet mask. Also, means they should be in the same network. So what these two routers will do? They will send hello messages. They will send hello messages. See, this will send hello message in every 3 seconds. This will send hello message in every 3 seconds, and this router will come to know with the hello messages that this router is up, this router is up, this router is up. So with the hello messages, this router will come to know that this router is up. Now, if suppose in 3 seconds it will not get the hello message, then it will wait for 10 seconds. It will wait for 10 seconds more, and then it will take the charge. It will take the charge. So 10 second is the hold down time, or you can say dead interval, hold down time by default in HSRP. Understood what is hold down time? Hold 10 second, hold is 10 second. Now, see, in advertisement, it is the hello packet is known as advertisement and it is for 1 second by default. It is sent 1 second by default. Now, if the master is down, then it will calculate this, it will have this formula, it will do this calculation 3 into advertised time, okay, plus queue time times queue time, okay, there will be 256 minus priority, okay, divided by 256, some calculation will be done, and it will calculate the time to get the hold on time, okay. If the master is down, then in what time it will select the backup route, okay, it will give me the backup time. Then hold time over in the GLBP, this is GLBP, this is VRRP, and this is HSRP, is 10 second, same as. So we can change this timer, we can change this timer at any time, we can change this timer at any time, okay. We can change it to 1 second, and over here we can change it to 3 second over as per our requirement in the production network. Understood the difference between the FHRP and GLBP, VRRP? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now router role. See, I have told you one active router, one standby router, one or more listening routers. We can keep one or more standby routers. Okay, one active router, one or more backup routers. Okay, now if over here, one AVG router, active virtual gateway, and up to 4 AVF routers on the group, active virtual forwarder, passing traffic. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Ah, so we have seen the difference of all the protocols. We have seen the difference of all the protocols. Now we will see uh, the practical for this. Now we will see the practical for this. So uh, just a second. Huh? Okay, so the issue I'm getting in GNS3 is that I'm getting at a time one console only in the putty. So when I'm trying to get the access of this, I'm not getting the things. Not get, why I'm not getting, I can't understand. Okay, let me check if I'm having an option in this user 3, user 3, enable config terminal. Then a second. Stand by. Must be not having the option over not having the option over here. Stand by. Okay, I'm having the option over here, no issues. Okay, so what I will do, I will make a topology. This is my router 1, 2, 3. I'm having 4 routers. Okay, and I will take one switch. I will take one switch. I will make the connections.
Sir, is this not in new CCNA, sir?
See, HSRP is there in new CCNA also. Okay, but it is, I think so. It is live in. It is not my. There are no commands for changing the timers and all the things. Just HSRP is there, and the normal HSRP configuration is there in CCNA, new CCNA, and the difference and all the things. Understood?
Yes, sir.
It is there in the new CCNA, but we are having the normal things. Okay, so what I will do, I will use over here 192.168.1.0 network /24 for my LAN. Okay, for my LAN. So this is my 192.168.1.1 PC. This is my device. This is suppose my host. Okay, I'm using the router as my host. Okay, the gateway will be 192.168.1.50. Here it will be 192.168.1. You can say 100. Okay, the virtual IP that I will be using is 192.168.1. You can take any IP address. I will take 1.75. Okay, I will take 1. One, I will take 1.75, and in the WAN network, this is my ISPs. This is my ISP, Internet Service Provider. Okay, in the WAN, I will take, suppose over here, I will take 10.0.0.1/8. Okay, here I will take 10.0.0.2/8. Here I will use 11.0.0.2/8 in the WAN network. 11.0.0.1/1, sorry, 8. Okay, so now I will do the basic configuration. First I will go on this router. No, enable config t interface fast ethernet 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.50 255.255.255.0. Shut exit interface serial 2/0 IP address 10.0.0.1 255.0.0.0. No, shut. We have created two things. I've created the to this. I will go on this router. I've given the IP address, enable config terminal interface, fast ethernet 0/0, one IP address 192.168.1.100, 255.255.255.0, 1.100 only I've taken over here, right? 1.100, no shut, interface serial 3/0, IP address 11.0.0.1, 255.250.0.0.0, no shut. Okay, I've configured these two routers. I will configure the ISP. I will configure some routes on ISPs also. This is my host name. I will create the host name also for all the routers. Host name ISP. Okay, interface serial 2/0, IP address 10.0.0.2, 255.0.0.0, no shut. Okay, exit interface serial 3/0, IP address 11.0.0.2, 255.0.0.0. Okay, exit. I will create some loopback also. Interface loopback 0, IP address 12.0.0.1/24, then interface loopback 1. I will create some loopbacks. IP address 12.0.1.1, 255.255.255.0. Okay, show interface brief.
IP interface.
Show IP interface brief. Okay, so I have configured all the things. Okay, now what I will configure a default route. These are my LAN networks. So what I will do, I will configure a default route. If anyone want to go to internet, I will give a default route that 0.0.0, the next hop address is this 10.0.0.2. And over here I will configure that anyone want to go over the ISP 11.0.0.2 will be my next hop address. Correct? Understood. And on ISP I will create static route. On ISP I will create static route that whoever wants to come, whoever coming from this R1, this active router will go to 10.0.0.1, and from here it will go to this. So I will give, see, we will be having NATing and all the things, but we are not configuring NATing and all the things in this example. Okay, because it will be more complicated. So what we are doing, we are just configuring two static routes, you can say we are configuring default routes over here. So first I will change the host name. The host name will be active. This will be suppose active. Okay, and this will be having IP route. What I will say, IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0.0. You have to go to 10.0.0.2. Okay, I've created one default route. I will go over here also. I will create one default route, host name, standby. Okay, standby IP route. You are understanding, right? What I'm doing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You are
Yes, sir.
understanding,
Yes.
right? What I'm doing? So I've created two default routes. Then I will create two static route over here, whichever traffic is coming from 10.0.0.1. Okay, sorry. I will create for this one dot network, 192.168.1 dot network. For from one dot network, whatever traffic is coming, You have to send it to where 10.0.0.1. Okay, I've created this one route and you have to send it to 11.0.0.1. Okay, I've created two static routes. Got it? Show IP route. Okay, I've created static routes. Okay, now what I've done, I've created this thing. Now I will go on this router and I will configure this as a PC, a host. I will configure this as a host. Enable what I will say config terminal host name. Host name is host. Host name is host. Then what I will do, IP interface fast Ethernet 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0 no shut. Okay, I will say no IP routing. If I say no IP routing, IP here I'm not getting the option of no IP routing. You got all the options, but this option I'm not getting. No IP routing. Will I get in the interface? No IP routing. Okay. IP default. I'm not getting the option of gateway also.
Sir, I think it's just default gateway, sir.
No, it is. It will be not the default gateway. It will be IP default gateway. There is no option for default gateway also. It is the command is IP default gateway only. Let me check over here. Admin. Okay, this is my
Just
topology that is already created.
it's better to use EVA or CCN.
Okay. See, in EVNG the issue is I am not able to stop the ping. So
Oh,
IP interface brief 1.100 10.1. I've already assigned the IP address. I think so. You can see the font is correct, right? So IP interface brief. I've configured these things. Enable show IP route. I've given the default route also. Okay. Now enable show IP interface brief. Okay, show run. If I give show run, see no IP routing I have enabled over here, no IP routing. Then see IP default gateway I have given as 150. IP default gateway that I have given as 150. Okay, so I'm using 150 as my virtual IP address. Understood? I'm using 150 as my virtual IP address.
Same topology, right?
The topology is same. Okay, the topology is same. See the topology, just what I'm using over here 192.168 1.150/24 as my virtual gateway. Okay, this is my virtual IP address. Understood? Rest all the things are same. I have done the same over here. Okay, now in the ISP I will check. In the ISP, if I have given any route, show IP route. Okay, I've configured static route. There are two static routes I have already configured. Okay, show standby. Okay, I have not configured the HSRP, so I have configured the normal things. Now I will try to ping. See, my all these LAN networks should be pinged. Okay, I should ping all the LAN networks. I should ping all the LAN networks. So what I will do, I will first check the connectivity between my two R1 and R2, R1 and R3, R1 and R3. These are my two redundancy routers, ping 192.168, 1.200. I can ping, I will go on this router, ping 192.168, 1.100. Okay, I can ping from here. Now I will check both the gateways, ping 192.168, 1.100. This 1.100 is pingable, 1.200 is also pinging. Okay, then what I will do, I will configure now. I will configure this as my active router. This as my active router, as I told you. This will be my active router and this will be my standby. This is my active router and this will be my standby router. This will be my standby router. Okay, this will be my standby router. This will be my active router and this will be my standby router. So I will configure this thing, this as my active router. So to do the configuration, what I have to do? I have to make this as my standby route, as my active router. So what is the configuration? We have configured the default route. We have configured we will check the connectivity for internet. I'm getting the internet connectivity. So let me check if I have configured any of the default route on my R2. Yeah, I have configured this thing 12 dot as my loopback addresses. Okay, so I will check if I can ping that 12.0.0.1. I am getting the ping reply. I can ping the internet. Okay, now what I will do, I will go on this router and I will configure this router as my active router. So I am on router 1. I will change the host name. host name as active. Okay, then what command I have to give? I have created the route. I have to go inside the interface fast Ethernet 0/0, the LAN interface. Sorry, interface Ethernet 0/0, the LAN interface, and I have to give the command standby. Standby. Once I give the command, it is asking me for a group number. Group number. Suppose I give the group number as 12. Okay, then what it is asking me? It is asking me what you want. What you want. See, I will have multiple options over here. I will have multiple options over here. So what I did, I created a group. Okay, and I will give the IP address to the group. Virtual IP address. I will give the virtual IP address. Set the virtual IP address. So the option is IP. Then it is asking me give the virtual IP address. So virtual IP address is 192.168.1.150. Okay, this is the virtual IP address. Make this IP address a secondary virtual IP address. I don't want this thing. I have given this command. I will hit enter. And now I want this as my this should be my primary active. I said active router. So what I told you, it will first select the priority. By default, all the routers are having the HSRP priority as 100. By default, all the routers are having the HSRP priority as 100. Okay. Now what I will do, I will change the priority of this. I will change the priority. I'm having the priority option. I will change it to 120. I will change it to 120. Okay. Now suppose my this link went down. Okay, this link went down and this router, this link went down. Then what I'm configuring? What I'm configuring now? I'm configuring the alternate link. This link should come up. This link should come up. Now this link should come up. When this link will come up, this link will be down, then only this link will come up. Okay, so I will configure this as the standby router. Okay, now suppose again this router came up, this link came up. Will this router give the command to this router again? No.
No, sir.
HSRP is non-preemptive. What it is non-preemptive. Non-preemptive means we have seen the non-preemptive thing when we were learning DR and VDR thing. When we were learning DR and VDR thing. When we were learning DR and VDR thing, we have seen non-preemptive means what? Whenever this router will again come up, it will not get the command as active router again because HSRP is not preemptive. So if we want, always this router should be the active router whenever the router will be, whenever the router will come up, this router should be the active router. So we have to enable the preempt command. We have to enable the preempt command. What we have to do? We have to enable the preempt command. Okay. So now I will not enable the preempt command. What I will do? I will go on the router 3 and we will do the configuration over here also. Okay, we will do the configuration over here also. What configuration we will do over here? The same configuration we will do over here. Host name is standby. Okay, then I have to go inside the interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Sorry, Ethernet 0/0, and I have to say standby. The group name is 12 and the virtual IP address is 192.168.1.150. Okay, I have to create only this thing. Okay, now I will go over here and I will see show standby. Show standby. See, once I give this, it is giving me state is listening. It is listening. Okay, virtual IP address is this. See the virtual MAC address that it is given. 0C. 0C means 12. C means 12, right? I have created a group number 12. I have created a group number 12. Okay, see, preemption is disabled. Hello time is for 3 seconds, hold time is for 10 seconds. Okay, priority is 100. 100 is by default over here. 100 is by default over here. See, this is the virtual MAC address. Is automatically created the virtual MAC address as 12. I will go on this router and I will show you the show standby. Show standby. Okay, see over here. State is active. Active. State is active. Two state changes. Large state change in this at this time. Virtual IP address is this. Active virtual MAC address is this. Okay, they will have both will have the same IP address and virtual MAC address. Hello time is this. Preemption is disabled. Active router is local. This local router is my active router. See, standby priority is this, and the standby router is at 1.200. The priority configured is 120. Priority default priority is for standby router is 100. Understood? Any doubt? This I have done the basic configuration. Suppose my this link will go down. What I will do now for checking, what I will do, interface fast ethernet. Sorry. So do you know how this ping stops? Ping 192.168 1.200. Okay, I will give a repeat ping 1000 or 10,000 or 1000 I will give. Do anyone know how this ping stops? This ping? How to stop this ping in EVNG? This ping is not getting stopped.
Break command, no break commands work.
Sorry?
The break commands, control
Yeah, I have used the break
X.
command control shift 6 and control shift F6.
And it doesn't work.
No, it is not working. I have used the break command also. If I am giving
Maybe
control alt F6, okay, it is changing the tab. It is changing the tab. Okay,
control. Uh,
control
Sir,
F6 is also changing.
Control Shift 6
Shift 6. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's
Control
what
Shift 6.
I have used the control
and
shift
then
6
press
also.
X immediately, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry?
X. Yeah.
Control shift. Come again. Control shift.
Control Shift 6 and release that and then press X immediately, sir. That's what I'm given.
Control shift 6. Sorry, must start the ping. When I'm doing control shift, I will close this window. Control shift 6. Okay. Control shift 6 is stopping the ping. Okay. Okay. So how I will show you now. See, once I will config T, what I will do, I am pinging over here. I will go over here and I will trace the route. Trace route 192, sorry, 12.0.0.1. Tracing the route to the router. See where it is going to the gateway 192.168 1.100 it is going. 192.168 1.100, then it is going to 10.0.0.2. Okay, how it is going? It is going to 100. Now what I will do, I will go on my this router and I will switch off the interface, this interface. Okay, I will switch off this interface and I will give continuous ping from here. Ping 192 12.0.0.1. Okay, repeat 10,000. Repeat is 10 lakh. I have given 10,000 I will give. Okay. I will start the ping. Shut. I've shutted down this interface. Now you will see over here, I got a delay. I got only one packet got lost. See over here, only one packet got lost, and my ping is continuously going. My ping is continuously going over here. Now if I trace the route, for 12.1, now it will be going through 1.200. It will be going through router 3 now. Because my this is down, I have this router is down. See, it is going through 200 now. It is going through 200 now. It is going through 200. Now what I will do, I will make this interface up again. No shut. No shut. Then also it will not get the active. It will not become the active router. Show standby. See, state is listening. Standby router is unknown. Standby router is still unknown. Standby router is still unknown. Okay, this is my active router. This is my active router now. Router 3 is my active router. Show standby. This is my active router. See, active router is local router R3. Active router is local router. Now what I will do, I will enable preemption. I will see this router became the standby router now. This router became the standby router. Standby is the local router. Now what I will do, I will enable the preemption. Interface Ethernet 0/0. Okay. I will say standby 12. See, I am having an option as preempt. 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 Okay. Preempt. I will go on this router also and I will say config terminal interface Ethernet 0/0 standby 12 preempt. See, once I give the preempt command, this router will automatically become the standby router. Why? Because the router 1 is having the highest priority. I have configured the priority as 120. See, this will become automatically this router will become the active router. This router will become the active router. Understood? Any doubt till here, guys?
No, sir.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what we can see, what options we have. We have changed the priority. Timers we can check. Okay, track. Now suppose I am using this thing. Okay. Suppose I have seen my this link has gone down. Now suppose my this link has gone down. Now what will happen? This router will send hello message to this router in every 3 seconds. Okay, every 3 seconds this router will get the hello message. Now if this link is down, then the hello message will be stopped. But now this link is active. This link has went down. Now what will happen? How it will get the reply? How this router will come to know? Now my packet is coming from here and it is coming over here, and this router is dropping the packet because this link is down over here. This link is down over here. Now what will happen? How we can overcome this thing? How we can overcome this thing? See, we have one option over here. We have one option over here as track option. What we have? We have one option over here as track option. See, track option. So what we can give a command that will track. If this interface will go down, then it will track. That if this interface will go down, then send a message that this interface has went down, take the charge. Then this standby router will take the charge. So I have to give the command on this R1 router, active router. I have to give the command. The command here is config terminal. I have to go inside the interface serial, interface ethernet 0/0. I have to say this interface that I have to say all the commands start with standby group number 12. Then I have to say the command track. Then it is giving me track object number. Okay, I will give serial 2/0. Okay, I will create serial 2/0. Why did it asking me for object number? Just a second. Standby track 1. It is giving me this command. Why it is giving me this command? See, the command is standby. I think so. The evng is giving the higher things. It is directly running VRRP. Okay. The command is here I have to give the interface number serial 2/0, and here I have to give the decrement value. Now, how it will come to know that this interface has been down? Now, what it will do, whenever it will track the thing, whenever it will track the interface, whenever this interface will go down, what this router will do, we will configure something that whenever this router will go down, decrement the priority value by 30. So what is the priority value that we have configured over here? We have configured the priority value as 120. So 120 minus 30 will be 90. So once this priority value will be 90 and his priority value will be 100, and we have enabled preemption, this router will take the charge and he will become the active router. Understood? So the command over here that we will be giving is something like this. The command will be standby 12, then track S 2/0, and the decrement value we will give as 30. This will be command that we will be giving for this thing. Okay, this is the command that will be giving.
So if for every packet that is unable to go through that interface, the priority will decrease by 30, sir.
See, if this interface goes down,
Change it.
this router will come to know that this interface has went down. Now a packet came over here to go over here. Now this router knows that this interface has went down. So what it will do, it will automatically decrease its priority to 90. It will decrease its priority to 90 because I have given the decrement value as what I have given the decrement value
30.
30. 120 minus 30 will be
90.
90.
So
But
what
that is
if
user
90 is
defined,
still
right?
not
It is user
low enough
defined, right?
for
Sorry, one by one, please.
I was
What
going to
if
say
that
it is
90 is not still low enough for it to become standby router, sir? What if it is still active router?
No, we have enabled the preemption. Why it will be the, see, if we don't enable preemption, then you can say that it will not become the standby router. It will be still the active router, but we have enabled the preemption. What
No,
preemption
sir.
will do?
I think what he's asking is 30 fixed. I think it is user defined and we can change that value to 50, 60, 70, whatever, right?
Which value?
30
See, we can
number.
give any value.
Yes.
We can give any value. I can give 120 also. If I minus 120 from 120, then it will be 0. The main goal, what is the main goal here is, the main goal is to set the priority value lesser than the default priority value. So that if this link goes down, this router will automatically take the charge and become the active router. Understood? The basic
Yes, sir.
uh,
Yes, sir.
role to do the basic understanding of the basic concept behind to decrement the value over here is this router should take automatically the charge. Okay, if this link is down, it is taking the automatic charge. But if what this link is down, it is not taking the charge automatically. Why? Because this router is sending hello messages. The connectivity is fine between these. But what if the WAN network is gone down? If the WAN connectivity is went down, then this router will automatically decrement the priority value to 90. Once it will automatically decrement the priority value to 90, this will send an hello message and this router will see the hello message that the priority value is 90. Okay, now this router will, and the preemption is enabled, this router will become the active router and it will, the traffic will move in this way. Understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Again, when this link comes up, then this router will again make the priority value as 120 and this router will again become the standby and this will again become the active router. Understood? Got it? Any doubt?
No, sir.
So I'm not getting the option over here. I should get the option over here. Let me check over here. See, I will get the router over here on R1, on R0, enable config terminal interface, fast ethernet 0/0, standby 12 track. See, I'm getting option over here. Serial interface number 2/0. See, this is the command that I have to give. This is the command
I
that I
think
have to
it
give.
can only be configured on the active route.
Yeah, we have to configure it only on the active router only. And this, see, after
So
this,
that
I
was
can,
not the active route.
after this,
Okay, that is GNS3. Okay.
So here it says decrement. So what after decrement, maybe it is sometimes they change it.
see, we can do it via this way also. See, here we can do it via this way also. Track, and it is giving me the value track object 1 decrement 30. This is also the correct way, but this is the way of something advanced thing. This is
Yeah, yeah.
advanced thing. Okay, this is an advanced thing. So we can look it in this way also. See, now I am doing this thing. I have configured this thing. What I will do, I will go on the interface serial 2/0. What is the interface number? 1/0. The interface number is 1/0. Serial 1/0, and I will make it down. So before make it down, I will start the ping from here. I will start the ping from here. Ping 12.0.0.1. Okay. Repeat 10,000. Repeat 10,000 times. Okay. Shut. Once I shut down this interface, you can see the change over here. See, it got stopped over here. See, it got stopped
It
over
got
here.
stopped. It didn't take.
See, the ping got stopped over here. Why it did not took? It should take the charge. standby 12 track object 1. Okay, when I'm giving the object number, I have to give some more command also.
That object number I think should be
Yeah, we have to give
associated
the
with
object
some
number to someone.
interface.
We have to
Yes,
give the
sir.
object number also to the interface. So what I have done, I have not created the object number. I have to create the object number
Yeah.
also over here.
Yeah.
So I will create standby 12. Okay, what will be the command? Sorry, this will be not the command. Track 1 interface serial 1/0.
0.
Track 1 interface serial 1/0 line protocol, I think so. Once I give this command, see this interface came up.
So basically they have replaced serial with object number 1.
See, this is the command that we can give in something higher. You can say in the HS VRRP. VRRP. This is the command that is given in VRRP. This is the same command that is given in VRRP. We have to create a track object. What I have done, I have created a track object 1, track 1, and I have said track object I am creating for serial interface for line protocol. Okay, for line protocol. If line protocol means my protocol is down, then I have to use the track 1 object. And what I have given the track 1 object, I have given the track 1 object the standby track 1 object decrement value as 30. What I have given the decrement value 30. Whenever the line protocol is down, you have to use the track object, and in the track object the decrement value is given as 30. So see, if I go over here, show standby, see now the decrement value is, priority value is 90, configured is 120, the decrement is 30. Understood? Got it?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So we will stop over here for today.